Right, in this Kubernetes and CKD tips number 23, we'll see how we can build pods with container, which eventually will use the environment variables. So let's see that through command line, how we can achieve that, and then modify them using the YAML file and add more variables into the container. To do that, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to just go ahead and create a container. So let me just say that k run. K stands for kubectl run, and I name it as busybox, and then I use the image as busybox, and I'll say restart never. And then maybe what I can also do, I can say sleep for 3600. That's what, how long that container will be up and running. Otherwise they will just stop and then say completed. And while I do so, I can also pass the environment variable through env. And while I do that, I can say key 1 equals value 1. What happens if I go ahead and run this command? This will go ahead and create a container. Now you'll see the container, the pod is created, which internally runs a container. So what I can do, I can just get inside that pod, go inside the container and check the environment variable. So it is showing running, and it'll run for 3600 seconds. So I'll say kexec name of the pod, and then I say interactive terminal, and I say sh. That's a shell command. If I go into that and then type the env as the command, and it will show me the list of environment variables which this container has. So you can see that in this you have got a container called the environment variable called key1 value1. This is what I have created. So let me just come out of that and then kill this container. So I'll say exit, and I say k delete pod busy. That will kill the container. Once the busybox pod is deleted, what I'm going to do, I'm going to run the same command, but this time I'm going to go ahead and create a YAML file and then modify that YAML file to show where that environment variable sits into that YAML declaration, which you can use in the DevOps, and then modify those values with the new environment variable or add additional environment variables, right? So far we have added key1 value 1, but then we will run that to add, let's say, key2 value 2. And if I just get the first command which I used to generate the pod, what I can do, I can also now run few additional parameters. I'll say try -run equals to client, and then I say output YAML, and I happen to save the output in envpod.yaml. That's the name of the file. And if I see the envpod YAML, that's the YAML which I get. Now you can see over here under the container there is an environment key name as key1, value name as value1. What I can do, I can modify this and say env pod YAML, and then let's say I go here and I add one more line on top of it, and I say I want to add one more key. So I'll give a name as key2 and then a value as value 2. Okay, so you can add as many as environment variables as you want. It's a collection and a list. You can see that the dash indicates that you can have multiple such into this group. Now once this is kind of modified, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to say k create -f env pod YAML, and it's gonna go ahead and create the pod. So I'll say k get pod, and you will see the pod running, up and running. That is busy pod, right? So it is just running for 11 seconds. That's the recent one. And then I say I just go inside that kexec, give the name of the pod. It's a single container. That's why I don't need to mention the container name. If you are running a pod with multiple containers, you can provide -c with the container name to get inside that container. So I'll say that interactive terminal and then run the shell command. And if I now say inf, you will find that I not only have this key1 value 1, I also have key2 value 2 as another environment variable, which basically is coming from the YAML file defined during the design phase. So I basically mentioned these two key values, right? So you can say key1 value 1, key2 value 2, and then my container got created with these two environment variable. So hope this was kind of helpful to understand how the environment variable can be incorporated while the pod creation inside a container. And you can just get your YAML generated from the declarative way through the command prompt using kubectl, and then modify the YAML file as you need it. So you don't need to remember the whole stuff, right? So with this, I want to end, and thank you very much for watching.